Okay, for this lesson we're going to look at built-in functions, and if you look on the Python web page, you'll find all these different built-in functions. Some you already use. There's print, okay, but you can see they all have brackets after them where you put an argument in. So let's have a look through these. This is just a good way of manipulating data in your programs and just doing things with them. So I'll put this, I'm not going to do a list yet, I'll go into that next lesson, but if I wanted to find out the sum, okay, which is a built-in function here, sum, there you go, let's call it sum x, okay, as a variable. What I'm going to do is use sum, and in the argument I'm going to put x, which should add up all of those. It's the sum, okay, so let's say print, and what do we want to print? We want to print the variable sum x, okay. So sum x is a variable I made up. I'm using the built-in function sum, and I'm putting x in there, telling this I want you to add up x. Then I'm printing the variable I made up to assign that. Run that. There you go. So that works it out. Max is another one. So let's say max x equals max of x. Okay, so I want to find out the maximum number in x. Okay, print max x. And you'll see the pattern, what's happening here. Let's run that. 87, is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay, so there's also a min, isn't there, as well? So I could just make up another variable, min x equals the minimum of x. It's gone up there, hold on. And you should be able to see by now the pattern that's emerging. So if I print my variable which I assigned to do the job, we should get the lowest number in there, which should be a 2. There you go. What else have we got? Length. Well, let's find the length of x. So let's make up length x equals what I want to find, the length, which is the built-in function of x. Let me now print length x. And let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should give us back 7. Okay. Oh, sorry, it's len, not length. It's actually len. Okay, sorry. Let's run that. 7. So that gives us back the length. String and integer. Now we've seen this in an earlier video where I changed an integer into a string, and I could do the same back. So I could say num equals, let's make it a string. Let's make 9 a string. Okay, and let's change that back to an integer. So I could say num int equals what I want. What do I want it to do? Well, I want an int. And what am I going to make an int? That number, because it holds 9. 9 is a string here. Now, numInt has changed it into an integer. And we can test that by printing, let's do numInt plus numInt. Now, if that was still a string, the answer would be 99 because it would join 9 and 9 together. But no, it should give us 18 now because I should have changed that string into an integer. There you go, 18. So it did. And you should see the pattern here. Look, I'm just assigning new variables and just getting them to do, or assigning the built-in function to that variable and then printing it. We've got a round, okay, so let's make a number, let's say num2 equals 0.673. Okay, so there's a number. Let's call it rounded number equals, what do we want it to equal? What's it called? Round. Okay, the built-in function is round. There it is, round. Round number equals, what do? We say round, and in there we put num2, and that'll round it. Now we can actually specify to how many decimal places. So if I put 2 there, that should round to 2 decimal places. Okay. Let's print a rounded number. Let's have a look at that. 34.67. There you go. If that was 5, it would be 34.68. Oh, it didn't. Let's do 6 then. I think Python doesn't round up. There you go. It has to be over 5. So 34.68. So that rounds it up. Change that. That changes it to a 1 decimal place. Okay. So these built-in functions are very useful for general programming, problem solving. And just look at this video and look at the pattern. I'm assigning a variable which I make up to the actual built-in function and then placing the variable in it, what I want it to do it to. Hope that helps, and I'll see you next lesson.